Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. Yeah, that's right. You're here. Boom. Shellac-a-lac. Boom. Nude studio. Very excited about it, and thank you all for supporting the show. I've eliminated the Amazon affiliate link. And YouTube's throttling has cost me, my money from YouTube is down, and with Amazon it's down about 60%, 70%. And I did that because it was the right thing. So if you could see fit to go to the Patreon page and support the channel, I could really appreciate it, because the Patreon even sort of leveled out. So with the YouTube money coming down and then losing the Amazon money, we've gone down a little bit. So, and they're throttling us. We're stuck at 9,700 subscribers. Still hasn't moved. I mean, literally still stuck at 9,700. In there, like 9,756, 9,765. It's complete nonsense. So here's a fun article. This was in CBS News, actually, .com. And which I guess is like, wow, the big corporate machine is covering a story in a reasonable way. Every once in a while, about 15-20% of the time, they'll come up with something like this. This is on August 22nd. Big Oil asks government to protect its Texas facilities from climate change. Yep. The oil companies are asking for protection from climate change, because the hurricanes that hit, it was a year ago, I think it was August 25th, 2017 is when the big hurricanes hit Houston, and then of course Florida and Puerto Rico and all that. So there's a lot of oil refineries there on the Texas coast in the Gulf of Mexico. So they're passing laws to basically beef up the coast. I'll go into this right here. As the nation plans new defenses against the more powerful storms and higher tides expected from climate change, one project stands out. They said climate change right there in the article. This is significant. We talk a lot about how the corporate media won't even say it, or they'll say, well, both sides of climate change, right? They like to play that game. So the fact that they're saying it right here, climate change, is significant. Because if CBSNews.com is talking about it, it's significant. Now, will this make CBS late night news? Probably not. This is we'll bury this on the internet. We won't have our nightly news talk about it in this manner. But one project stands out, an ambitious proposal to build a nearly 60-mile spine of concrete seawalls, earthen barriers, floating gates, and steel levees on the Texas Gulf Coast. The other thing, the story doesn't really go, the link is in the show notes below. Obviously read through it, but they're just saying it out front that it's tied to climate change, which is great. But this is something that everybody needs to get aware of. Anytime they talk about, oh, it's when people from the right say, oh, it's a liberal, whatever, it's a liberal myth. If governments, Texas, the reddest of red states, is spending money because they know it. They're looking, the data is the data. The science is the science. Science doesn't care if you believe in it or not. 2 + 2 = 4. The math doesn't care if you think 2 + 2 is 9. It doesn't care. It's 4. Boom, boom. See, guys? 4. Yeah. But this is also something that people need to start paying attention to. And I think this is an angle that is significant, because this is the angle to go after. The money. The money that's going to have to be spent to do this, to reinforce Texas's Gulf Coast, the whole entire Gulf Coast, because that's where hurricanes are. And so the money that is being spent to battle hurricanes and now to defend against them is significant. And it's another reason it's another piece of information to use to push for real serious climate change legislation. Building seawalls isn't going to stop climate change. That's the other thing too. We're going to say, okay, that's a good short-term thing to short-term preventative measure, but we need to reduce CO2 emissions. We need to get off of foreign oil. We need to build green energy across the board. Like other oceanfront projects, this one would protect homes, delicate ecosystems, and vital infrastructure, but it also has another priority: to shield some of the crown jewels of the petroleum industry. Oh, that's why the oil companies want it. We helped create climate change, so you need to build walls and stuff to protect our refineries from storms that we're making worse with greenhouse gases. Shield some of the crown jewels of the petroleum industry, which is blamed for contributing to global warming, and now wants the federal government to build safeguards against the consequences of it. Oh, gee, I'm sure the oil companies are going to kick in, right? They're going to help pay for this? Oh, no, weird. They're not. Well, that's weird, though. I'm sure the politicians in Texas are really going to take care of that. Normally outspoken critics of federal spending, Texas Senators John Cornyn and Ted Cruz both backed using taxpayer funds to fortify the oil facilities protections and the Texas coast. Cruz called it a tremendous step forward. Don't you love it? Don't you love the hypocrisy? The Democrats have their own bag of bullshit hypocrisy, and the Republicans have their own bag of bullshit hypocrisy. Two right-wing oil assholes who take all kinds of money from the oil industry, and they're always screaming, why are we spending government money on this program? Why are we helping the poor? How are we going to pay for free college tuition? How are we going to pay for working class people of any political affiliation to have health care and college tuition? And how are we going to pay for it? Oh, well, we have money to protect oil refineries. Oh, so they have no problem spending all this federal money, your tax dollars. Well, if you follow modern monetary theory, we know there's a little more to it than that. But this is their claim, right? It's always why are we spending your tax dollars? They can always spend it on war. They can always spend it on keeping their constituents, which are not the voters of the great state of Texas. They are the oil lobby, right? Protecting a wide expanse will be expensive. After Hurricane Harvey, a special Texas commission prepared a report seeking $61 billion from Congress to future-proof the state against such natural disasters. Okay, sure, this is good. Yeah, they should do that. There's more disasters coming. But why aren't we spending this kind of money to actually reverse climate change? And the Special Texas Commission wants this $61 billion from Congress without mentioning climate change, which scientists say will cause heavier rains and stronger storms. It's almost an admission of guilt. You know, it's like saying there's no drug problem, but we need more cops and prisons. It's crazy. CBS News looked out to the oil companies, and I'm sure they responded. Let's see what this major oil companies did not return messages. What? The oil companies are usually so forthright with their filthy bag of lies that there's no such thing as climate change. But Suzanne Lemieux, midstream group manager for the American Petroleum Institute. You know the American Petroleum Institute. They're the ones that put out all these studies that say, oh, there's no climate change. They've funded all these studies that say there's no climate change. That's what the American Petroleum Institute does. And they buy ad time during the Super Bowl. Said the industry already pays into programs such as the Federal Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund and the Waterways Trust Fund, only to see Congress divert that money elsewhere. Oh, so the audacity of these people. The audacity of these people. They want federal money. Right? She said that the industry already pays into these things, but we don't see a dime, so why should we keep paying? So now they're playing the bloated government spending card, yet wanting $61 billion to protect their coast from hurricanes that are made increasingly worse by climate change. So climate change doesn't create hurricanes. It just makes the ones that happen naturally more severe. With warmer water in the Gulf, warmer water creates more severe hurricanes. I don't want the people in Texas to have to go through, anywhere in the Gulf states to have to go through this awful. But first and foremost, better protect the refineries. No, don't spend all this money getting us off of Middle Eastern oil. Don't spend $61 billion on, I don't know, a pipeline of water. So when there's flooding, we can send the water elsewhere, right? When there's storms and rain and flooding, we could take all that water, send it to states that need it, like California where I'm at, here in the West. Drives me nuts. Phillips 66 and other energy firms spent money last year lobbying Congress on storm-related funding post-Harvey, campaign finance records show, and Houston's Lionel Chemical Company, PAC, lobbied for building a coastline spine. They know that climate change, I don't know, how do they go to, how do they go to work every day knowing they're helping create these storms that are, climate change will be the undoing of the oil lobby. You should transition from it. It's crazy. It's like blacksmiths blocking cars being made because it was going to hurt the blacksmith industry. Yeah, a lot of blacksmiths, I'm sure, went out of work when they came up with the horseless carriage. The coastal spine benefits more than just our industry, Bob Patel, CEO of LyondellBasell, one of the world's largest plastics, chemicals, and refining companies, said in March. It really needs to be a regional effort. Well, you know, Bob, what really needs to be a regional effort, a national effort, a global effort, is reversing climate change. Why don't you wake up to the fact that you are cutting your nose to spite your face? You are killing the goose that laid the golden egg. I don't know how many more grandparent type euphemisms I need to give you, Bob, to wake up to the fact that you're causing this, and you have the money and the resources actually to help reverse it. If the oil industry said, you know what, we've got a 10-year plan, we're going to start converting, taking our money and resources, and we're going to start investing it in green energy. And they'll come back and say, well, we spent $3 million last year on green energy. You know what I mean? To a multi-billion-dollar company. The term is called greenwashing. It's when big corporations that pollute the earth then give a little bit of money to charity or something, or set up some fund. You know, Wells Fargo does this. A lot of people do this. It's ridiculous. So don't buy it, you guys. Don't believe the hype. And please like and share these videos. And remember that we are all making Gotham great again.